Hello guys, welcome to Gambit Trading, and in today's video I will be teaching you how to identify inducement, how can we use inducement to enter any trade, and how can we confirm a lower low or higher high, I mean the structure in the market after taking the inducement. So as per you guys know, the lowest point in a downtrend is your new lower low, and the highest point in your uptrend is your new higher high. But that's not the case. Simply, I'll just explain you in simple terms. I'll help you understand inducement, what it actually is, how can we take trades using inducement, and this will help us identify traps in the market, and it will also help us get a good win ratio on our trades and also avoid the bad trades that usually get us trapped inside the trades. So first of all, let's go with this chart. On this diagram, you can see the validation of inducement. So just focus on this candles right now. So this is your valid inducement. How, you may ask? When a structure is formed, say suppose the market is moving in an uptrend. For example, market is moving in an uptrend. First of all, you would mark this as your higher high, your new higher high. Yeah, you would mark like this, and then you would mark this as a lower low, this as a lower low, and also this as a lower low, right? But so how do we confirm that this is your higher high? We will confirm this if any structure inside this is swept. Any structure inside this, by structure I mean any high or any low in uptrend or downtrend is swept. We will confirm our higher high after that. So what does the market has really need to form? So what market really needs to form is it should move up, it should take the low, and it should go like this. So after that, only after that, we can confirm our higher high or say higher low. In these 2 points, between these two moves, market has created many liquidity zones. So in lower time frame, a major high or major low must be taken out for being a valid pullback, or say valid liquidity, or you can also say liquidity sweep, and that is called your inducement. Okay, so simply how does it look in a chart? How does the inducement look in a chart? So when a market is moving upside, then it makes a low, then it goes upside to take the liquidity of this previous high. After that, this structure has been being formed in a lower time frame, right? So this gives sweep inside in the higher time frame, and after that it continues to move up. Okay, do you get my point? So here we will mark this as our inducement. Simply, inducement is called taking the liquidity in a chart. Inducement means taking liquidity. Okay, this is for an uptrend. And for the downtrend, okay, here we mark this as our inducement. For any inducement to be valid, the move before taking the inducement must have taken previous high. After that, if we get any kind of order block over here, we can take the entry, or we can wait the market to come to our order block that will be formed after inducement is taken over here. If you don't see any fair value gaps or order blocks over here, then we can also wait until market comes over here. Then we can take our entry and then put our stop loss above the order block and expect the price to fall. Similarly with the uptrend, we can mark this order block, take our entry. So this is how it's going to work. One pro tip, this is advanced inducement or say advanced order block. any order block that is above the inducement has high probability of being reactive, or you can say it has high chances of giving rejections and reactions from that zone. Suppose, say, if we had an order block below this inducement, and if market came down to tap to this order block after taking the inducement, then we would be sure that the price is going to for sure tap the order block and then give us a reaction. Does not matter if the inducement has been taken out with a wick or the body has been closed below and the price moved up after taking the inducement. It does not matter, that will be a valid inducement. But if you see any order block below the inducement, then you have to wait. If the candle closes, the body of the candle closes below the inducement, and you can expect the price to come to your order block and after that move up. And the next order block that works is the extreme order block. This kind of scenarios, right? So these two are the zones. And what is not a valid inducement is if this low is not swept, if this low has not been swept and the candle has been closed above, or the wick has also not swept the previous low, then it's not a valid inducement. So in simple words, if you did not understand me, in an uptrend, a previous low has to be swept for the continuation of the pattern, right? So if the low is swept, we call that inducement. It can also be understood as liquidity sweep. I hope I'm clear. So this is a market structure, and we have impulsive move, we have corrective move, and then we have continuation move. So we can find all these three in a single move. The market gives us any impulse move, which means that the market goes up very fast or with very good volume and big candles, and then comes down to take previous low, or you can say take the inducement or sweep the liquidity. Over here in this case, this will be our inducement. Okay, a pro tip for you: if a market is moving like this and it's a downtrend, right? So this will be your break of structure. Okay, let me mark this. This will be your break of structure. And if you are doing SMC or ICT, you would also mark this as your break of structure. But this is wrong. Why? To confirm any break of structure, you should wait for the inducement to be taken out. If this was swept, you could have marked this as your new break of structure, and your new lower low would be this point, and this pattern over here would be a continuation pattern. This would not be a break of structure. This would not be a valid break of structure. This both will be a valid structure because inducement over here was taken. Okay, as I told you, inducement is sweeping the liquidity of previous high in a downtrend, of a previous low in an uptrend. Similarly, in the case of uptrend, if we had to confirm, okay, so to confirm new higher high, this will be our higher high, and after that, any person who marks break of structures, let me mark this first. This will be a break of structure, and your break of structure will be valid over here. Why, you would say? Because I already told you in a downtrend, inducement needs to be taken. Okay, after inducement is taken, then after that we can mark this as our new higher high. Let me give you simple explanation again if you did not understand me completely. Suppose a market is moving in an uptrend. If this previous low in an uptrend has been swept, and then market continues to move up like this, then we would mark this previous low that has been swept as our inducement, You can also mark this as liquidity sweep, and if there is any order block below the inducement, then we can take entries over there, marking your previous high. And the thing over here is, if this inducement was not swept and the trend continued, then maybe say in future, or maybe this move swept, then this would be your inducement. And if there was any order block over here, you would take the trade over here. And when the market is about to reverse, suppose say you have a big supply zone over here. This is a supply zone, for example, and the market has tapped here and fell like this. So in internal structure, suppose say this was 1 hourly, okay? So in 1 minute or 3 minute time frame, what do we expect is for the price to come up and move something like this. So what do we understand over here is the market is trying to change the character. If you know where the market reverses, it's not called break of structure, but it's called change of character, and it's in the opposite direction when the market taps any liquidity zones or order blocks and stuff like that. Okay, so over here you would mark your inducement over here, right? This would be your inducement, and your inducement would also be over here. But when the market is reversing, then inducement turns into change of character only in that case, and it's just opposite. I mean, it's the same in the bullish trend. If the market is trying to reverse up, then it's the same case. All right, so this will be your inducement, and after that you can mark your order block over here, and then you can take your trade. Okay, so this inducement has been changed to change of character. Now let's see some examples in the chart. Example number 1 over here, you can see in this move over here, in this move you can see market is moving up, impulsive move, pullback, and moving up. But over here, what you really need to identify is your higher highs, and as I told you, your higher high will be confirmed after inducement will be swept. Right, so this will be your actual structure, and this will be your break of structure. This will be your break of structure over here. So where is the inducement that is swept? Where is the inducement? So to find inducement, as I told you, the low in the uptrend has to be swept, but before that the previous high also has to be taken out. So over here, this will be our liquidity. If you have seen my previous videos, you also know that I teach you any low or high point is liquidity. If that is swept, then the market gets good volume to move the price to opposite side. So retail traders were selling, and then the big money entered. You can see the good volume and price moved upside. Then again retail traders were trying to sell, and big money's orders got filled over here, and you can see this impulse move over here, and then you can see a low that has been made over here. And how did the low get confirmed? Because it swept the previous high, and when this low was swept, then this made our inducement valid. This is our inducement, and after that, as I told you, any order block below the inducement will work. Okay, and the price moves to the upside. So in this case, you would mark this as your order block. You would enter your trade over here, put a stop loss over here, and your target would be over here. Okay, similarly, another case, when the market gave break of structure, and before that market had the point where the previous high was swept, it gave a pullback, and when the market the market took this high, took the liquidity, then inducement was confirmed. How was inducement confirmed? Because this low was taken. This will be an inducement. And then the order block, the liquidity swift from here to here, and the price swept this and tapped over here, and then price moved to the upside. Let me also tell you, even if any order block does not have fair value gap in certain time frame, it will have fair value gap in another time frame. Maybe we had 1 minute time frame given fair value gap in on this move, so the price reacted from this. So over here the price has been tapped to our supply zone. Okay, so this was our supply zone in 30 minutes, I guess. Yeah, so this was our order block in 30 minutes, and then I was showing you 5 minutes, right? I was telling you the inducement converts into change of characters. This is the perfect example. So over here we would expect, so the lowest point is this, right? So the lowest point is over here, and then we would expect the price to give a break of structure from here. The price failed to move to the upside after giving a break of structure because there was this perfect order block with fair value gap and the price reacted well. So over here this would be our inducement. Okay, this would be our inducement. But as I told you, if the price is tapping to any liquidity zones, then this inducement will change into change of character. Am I clear? I hope you're understanding. And the people who thought this will be your order block, they got trapped in this move, and then the price again started falling downside. So over here, what are you supposed to expect? This was your first tap on the order block and the point was swept. This will be your liquidity sweep, and the order block that is going to be created after liquidity sweep will have high probability. So if in future the price comes to this zone, then it will give a good reaction, right? So where will be our inducement? Now the trend has been swift. The trend has been shifted from bullish to bearish. How did we confirm that? After taking the inducement, which is now change of character, and we have to look for the inducement to the upside now. Our inducement will be this. How do we confirm this as our inducement? As I told you, price has swept this low, and then the price went up to take the high. Now it's in the downtrend. That's why it has to take the previous high to confirm as inducement. So after taking the inducement, the price gave a move to the downside. So we also have liquidity zones below. So the price is giving rejections and reactions right now, but eventually if the price comes up and taps this zone, then we can see a good reaction. Okay, so for this example over here, the price is moving in a very impulsive move. Not a single inducement was taken until this one. I don't think this has been swept. Yeah, it's not been swept. So this is a very impulsive move. So what do we expect on this kind of moves? On this kind of moves, we would expect price to directly come down and sweep the major liquidity zones, high or low. We can always expect that if there is no inducement. But if the price was moving like this, and if this was swept and the order block was filled over here, then this would have been your perfect entry, because the high was swept and now the low is swept over here. This will be your inducement and your order block will be over here. So over here, if this was taken out, So you could have also entered your trade over here, the stops over here, and the target, your previous structure. So this could have been a potential entry. So the next entry, suppose the price is moving like this and this low was taken. So our inducement over here will be this one. And then we can expect this order block over here to work and give us a good entry. So this is how you can make entry using order block and inducement. Okay guys, I hope inducement is clear. If you have any questions, you can join our Telegram. The link is in description, and then you can ask me questions where I will be available whenever I am free. I will answer you your questions. So you can DM me or reach out to me on Telegram.